Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. Let me just adjust my camera here, make sure I'm up and running. Yeah, I decided to play some Atari today. I've done a lot of different streaming so far. I've done the Nintendo, Commodore 64, and I did a bunch of Atari ones. And it's been a while since I did an Atari one, so I thought, yeah, let's play some Atari. Unfortunately, my streaming's been bad again. I don't know what is going on. I need to really figure this out. It's either going to be my computer that's the problem, or it's my internet. I think it might be the computer. I think I just need a new computer. I just gotta break down and buy a new computer. Because this thing just, I don't know, just doesn't want to keep up with me. So let's see if we have anybody in the chat. Oh, we got Rex Warden. How's it going, Rex? So let's start off with a classic, Pitfall. I love this game. I think everybody loves Pitfall. If you play Atari 2600, you pretty much all love Pitfall. So let's just take this game for a go. It's just a nice relaxing game. There's nothing really complicated about it. It's like when I did my what was it, Odd Games video. I did it on Tomboy, which is kind of like a well, I thought it was kind of a hack of this game, but apparently it's not. It's just kind of a bootleg or a offshore type of game that was sold overseas. But the funny thing is, it's not an exact copy. It's like there's some differences to it. Almost like they dumbed it down and they changed some things. They modified the code for sure. Oh, Rex is doing some more hacking. I need to adjust my chat window. It's the problem when I'm doing Atari streams. My the window is always in a fixed place where I see my the game, and it always seems to overlap the chat box. I think I can fix that if I readjust the chat box though. All right, Atari 2600 dude is here. Playing some obvious Pitfall. The thing I like about this game is it's good like on every single platform. I don't think I've ever played a bad version of this game. I mean, the Intellivision, it's almost the same. You almost can't tell the difference. There's like slight differences. For its day, I mean, this was always astounding to me that this was on the Atari. Because I played games on the Commodore 64 and the Intellivision and stuff, so to see something like this exist on the Atari was always amazing to me. Considering the graphic capabilities of the Atari back in the day, and I say that back in the day because we've obviously there's been a lot of programmers who have been able to push the limits even further, especially when they don't have the limitations of the amount of storage on the cartridge. Whoa. I almost jumped on a snake there. Ouch. What's Rex saying there? Get a USB VGA device. Whoa. Yeah, I can kind of see what he's saying. Whoa, I just jumped into the alligator's mouth. Yeah, I gotta fix. See, my original plan was to get a dual monitor setup. That was what I wanted to do. I actually went out and got another monitor. I just picked up a cheapy one from a thrift shop, thinking, hey, I could just plug in a second monitor. Then I realized, stupid me, I didn't check the computer that I have to make sure that it has that capability. And so I ended up buying a second monitor, and I can't even plug it in because there's only one port for a monitor. There's only one video card. I went to a computer store and I'm like, is there a way for me to do it, you know, split it or whatever? And he's like, no, you actually need another video card. I'm like, oh crap. So I pretty much just gave up. I'm like, alright. I didn't spend a whole lot on that monitor. I think I paid like $8 for it. No big deal. a second monitor in case, you know, backup. But I definitely do need to buy another computer at some point. I mean, this computer, it's okay for checking your email, going online and browsing Facebook, but when you try and do anything complicated like streaming and playing video games, it starts to cry after a while. Especially editing video. I mean, editing video, I think I spend more time waiting for this thing to do its thing than I should be for editing, which is pretty sad. Oops. Just jumped off the rope there. So yeah, when I do these Atari videos, streaming things, I always like to ask the people in the chat to start suggesting games to play. Because you know, Atari games don't really take long to play. And I don't want to just sit here streaming the same game over and over again. So I like to add some variety, so everybody in the chat's always welcome to throw some games at me, and I'll change games. And so we got GameZar in there. How's it going? I'm not late this time. No, you're right on time. I just started with Pitfall. Everybody's favorite Pitfall. I mean, this game must have been like groundbreaking back in the day. I mean, when I was a kid, like I remember Pitfall. I remember borrowing it. I remember playing it on my television, but I mean, back then, when I was that young, I mean, I was pretty young when all this stuff came out. I didn't really care. I didn't really know the difference, but I'm sure a lot of the people that were older and, you know, saw all the different kinds of games, and then they were able to compare it to this, they must have been blown away. Whoops. Yeah, good choice. Can never go wrong with Pitfall. Not doing too well though. I've already lost 2 lives and I seem to be hitting a few things. Thing is, I never go underground, and I know that in order to really beat this game, you have to know the right time to go underground, to actually use the tunnel. And if you go at the wrong time, you end up hitting a wall, and then you have to backtrack. Also, jumping over those scorpion things, which I like to always call armadillos, but I've been corrected many times. The scorpions, they're difficult to jump over in this game. Uh-oh. Barrel on my case. Again, I'm going to have to readjust my chat box because the game is covering up half of it, so I can only read half of the chat. So I kind of read like the first few words, and then the rest is all blocked off, so I'll adjust that on my next game, which is probably now. Alright, let me just readjust the thing here so I can fix the chat. Maybe I'll be able to actually read it. It'll look weird, but do I have Pitfall 2? Oh yeah, I do. I mean, I'm using this. I'm playing this on an emulator, but I actually do have these games in real life. It's not like I don't own these games. It's just that for streaming purposes, an emulator works better for me. So let's do the natural progression and go to Pitfall 2. I'm not good at this game. Let's see what's happening here. Why aren't you working? Not getting any action going on here. What's happening? Never had this happen before. Just to see if what's going on here. I'll try a different game. Go to Taz. Taz is working. So why isn't Pitfall 2? Alright, let's try that again. That was weird. Pitfall 2. It's worked before for me. Yeah. Oh, okay. I need to hit F2. Weird. The fire button doesn't start it. I guess in the real game you have to hit reset. Where am I going? Yeah, that's it. GameStar is right. You have to hit reset or start. I was thinking the fire button would get him going. My real first experience with this game was playing it on the Commodore 64, and the version I have, I think it has a bug or something, but some of the gold pieces, when you touch it, it doesn't disappear, and it will continuously keep charging up your score. So you could just like sit there and get full power on one gold bar. Yeah, the stream might be laggy. I've been having this problem for the last few days. It's probably not you. Probably me. The sound on this game is the best. I mean, it's what the first Pitfall was really lacking, right? Was some music. Hate these guys. These are always hard. You have to like bit laggy, eh? Ah, crap. Can never get under those guys. Yeah. The minor key for the death music. Like I'm just gonna go down. This game was like, I mean, the first Pitfall was amazing, and this one just topped it. I mean, just to add all these little elements to it, the whole swimming aspect and the balloon and all the other little weird things they added to this game. Same programmer too. I think, you know, that he just proved that if you give him the ability to you know, work out a good game, you can do it. Yeah, this was David Crane, I believe, that made this one. I remember watching some kind of thing on YouTube where he was actually talking about when he made the first Pitfall, and that when he first created it, they told him that he wasn't allowed to have that much RAM in his cartridge. Yeah, Pitfall 2 does have the Pokey chip. That's why there's always problems with Pitfall 2 working on things like the Flashback Portable and other kind of flashback style emulator things. Yeah, he was saying that when he first made Pitfall, David Crane, that they told him that he wasn't allowed to have that much of a chip memory or RAM or ROM or whatever it is on a cartridge, and he had to scale it back, and he was able to do it, which, you know, shows off the skill that he had to have as a programmer to say, okay, I can still pull this game off and cut back on some of the coding and stuff, and he did it. And this type of stuff I never knew when I was a kid. I never knew any of this. Like, you wouldn't. You just like you get these games, you buy them or whatever, you just play them, and you don't think about all the work that went into actually, you know, developing the game. The limitations that they had. I didn't understand the limitations at that time. I was like, you know, I was the kind of kid that was like, I had a Commodore 64 and then television and an Atari, and I didn't know why all of them were different. Why couldn't they all be the same? I didn't get it. Go Pitfall Harrier. Oh. Ah. So when are they going to make a Pitfall movie? I mean, they've been on a movie video game kick and stuff. I mean, we just had Rampage and a bunch of other more modern games. Although maybe this game might be too much like an Indiana Jones style. I don't even know where to go. This level is so big. This, the height of this thing, to know where to stop, to go and get the gold bars. It's insane. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So you gotta keep going after these gold bars. Oops. Oops. Ow. Ball Blazer 2 reminds me I have a axe my so you have to get Pokey support. Oh. Yeah, I know games with the Pokey chip are always in higher demand. Some of the homebrew games use the Pokey chip, and I remember reading like to get the game you can either pay a certain fee and send them a cartridge with the Pokey chip, or pay a higher fee and just get the game straight out. Like, you gotta like send them a cartridge that has that chip in there so they can, I guess, reuse it. Kind of interesting. Another thing I didn't really know back then was that, you know, different cartridges had different chips in them, and I mean, you wouldn't know that stuff when you're just a kid. I mean, I didn't fully understand all this stuff. I did a little bit of programming, but just basic programming. I'm dying a lot here. Being obtuse was mandatory, as the cost of ROM chips was insane, preventing big games from being made, much less solid and affordable. Yeah, makes sense. It was all about cutbacks. I mean, what was it, like most games on the Atari were what, 4K or something like that? Am I right? Or am I making that up? Like, they were pretty small. The average game. Like Pitfall and Pac-Man and stuff. They didn't have very big ROM chips. Ah. Alright. I think it's time we change games. I'm just sucking at that. Miner 2049er. Nah. Donkey Kong. What should I play? Let's go into all my ROMs that I have here. Sometimes I just like to scroll through until I find something that looks interesting and play it. Ah, I love this one. This game I started playing on the flashback. And I never heard of it before, and then I found out it was actually a prototype. Like, it never actually got released. At least as far as Atari Age is saying, anyways. This is called Aqua Adventure. I think it's on all the flashbacks, or most of them. So if you have an Atari flashback, you can play this game. Or the flashback portable. Oh. Alright, see you later, GameZar. Thanks for popping in for a little while. Did I just die? What happened? I'm mean, this game is like, it's really well done. It's very simple. You're just kind of going deeper and deeper. Down. Trying to avoid things. I guess you got like a spear gun. And you have to go down deep enough to get the treasure. Wherever that thing is. Oh. I think this was one of the games that was kind of like about to be released, and then the whole video game crash happened or whatever, and then the whole Atari thing just kind of collapsed, and it just never got put into production. And as you go on, it gets deeper and deeper. And obviously, the deeper you go, the harder it gets. Oops. ARAC30. I don't know how to pronounce that, but ARAC30. Yeah, this is an emulator. I just don't have a capture card or anything right now that I can attach to my actual Atari. So I'm kind of stuck with emulators now for streaming. It works. I mean, it's all about the games to me. I mean, I collect all the games too. I love the hardware. I love the original hardware. If I could, I'd prefer to play the original hardware, but right now, just for me to be able to stream, I can't do it. And all my hardware is down in the basement, and my computer's upstairs, so until I can get another computer and reconfigure everything, maybe one day I'll be able to actually use real hardware. But I'm kind of stuck with whoa! I'm not doing too well. Yeah. Oh. This is why when you watch my videos, my typical videos, I'm using just an actual camera on pointing at the TV screen on an actual CRT TV. I don't have a capture device or anything fancy like some of the other people have, so I just kind of point the camera at the screen and play. It's a little rough, but it works. You get the idea. Some of it doesn't turn out as good as I'd like it to be, but I mean, what can you do? I work with what I got. I don't want to do everything on an emulator. Plus, I don't have all the ROMs and emulators for every single system, so like for my Intellivision, it's just... Oh man, I couldn't even see my guy. For the Intellivision, I'd rather use my real Intellivision. Or a Coleco, even Coleco. It's just so much better to use a real system. Oh! Optimus Ponder's asking, is this where all the cool people are at? Maybe. Maybe some cool dudes are in this chat. Oh, what should we play next? Feel free, if anybody's in the chat, to throw some ideas at me. Throw some games. Barnstorming. Yeah. Let's play some basic math. Because I'm good at math. I'm not actually good at math. How about Berserk? Who here's a Berserk fan? Yeah. Hey, it's Happy Beard Games. How's it going? Gone fishing? Talking about fishing derby? I think he's talking about fishing derby. Or Oh, he's talking about Aqua Adventure. Yeah. That's it. Aqua Adventure. I think there might be a delay from what I'm seeing and what the chat is seeing. Yeah, I was playing Aqua Adventure. Now I'm playing Berserk. Oops. One game I need to still play is Frenzy on the ColecoVision. I picked it up not that long ago. And it's supposed to be a sequel to this game. Whoa. Oh man. There we go. I like how you have to like leave the level. They shoot each other. I just ran into his fire. That was dumb. Can't shoot through the wall. That's one thing about this game. As you can see, it hits the wall. My stream picture quality is looking better. Well, that's good. I know I've done a little bit of tweaking here and there, but I still get from time to time some disruptions and in and outs. It happens. Imagine if somebody wants to just only stream all the time, they have to make sure they have like the best computer on the market and pay for the like most expensive internet connection, and I just work with what I got. Whoa! Almost died. The thing about this game is I don't know if it really matters where you go. I don't think you're really trying to go anywhere. You're just trying to go into different rooms. Oh, it keeps buffering for you too, eh? Yeah, it's been doing that for me lately. Whoa. Just got killed. Oh. That's some serious... This game kind of reminds me of like Tron Deadly Discs. Crap. Everybody's buffering, eh? Let me just see how my stream is doing. Oh yeah, Rex is saying streaming at 720p is taxing if you don't have the best hardware or internet connection. Could be my problem. Yeah, I'll have to try and lower my quality then when I stream, because that could be it. I mean, it's always complicated when you're dealing with this. It could be your computer, it could be your program, it could be your streaming, it could be your who knows what. Drop the resolution. Fortunately, I don't think it'll let me do that right now, but I'll work on that and see if I can change that. I don't know if it's in the output area. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it because I'm currently streaming. So I'll try and mess around with that later. See if I can get a better stream going. Really sucks though. Let's see, where can we go? What game can we play? Yet when I do the Nintendo streaming, it usually seems to work fine. Just doesn't like the Atari. Which is weird. Chuck Norris, that game is just bleh. Congo Bongo. I didn't get too far in combo. Oh, crackpots. Let's see, Custer's Revenge. Oh, I lost the chat there. Yeah, either resolution, bitrate, or frame rate. They all affect streaming lag. I think I've tried messing around with the bitrate. I don't think it's done much for me. Dark Chambers. Defender? Oh, you haven't streamed in ages, but you do use OBS offline. Oh, that's interesting. To like record your plays, and then you can do it later. So let's play some Desert Falcon. If I can get this to work. Wait a minute. Doesn't look right. There it is. Yeah, Desert Falcon. This game's kind of like a Zaxxon perspective. Oops. You almost have to get, like, used to the perspective of this game. Just like when you play Zaxxon, where there's a height. You just almost can't tell, though, where that thing that's coming at you, where it is. There's supposed to be some kind of falcon, though. You can see I'm, like, flying. Oh. Crap. Well, hopefully it's working. It kicked in. I did reset my router too and everything like before I started, so I was hoping that that would solve any issues. Ah. Game over. Can't seem to hit that thing that keeps flying at me. That thing just keeps hitting me. This game obviously was much more improved on the Atari 7800 version. I need to pick that version up one day. The graphics are much better. You can actually make out what the heck is going on. This one you can barely make out what all these things are. I mean, you can see that that's like a bird of some sort. That thing that's flying at you, you can barely tell what perspective it's at. And even those pillars that you hit. There we go. You don't have to be all the way at the top to hit him. You have to fly to the bottom to pick up all the stuff. This is an example of why, you know, why were they able to make this game at this perspective, but then when they made Zaxxon, they didn't. For the Atari 2600 Zaxxon, it's going straight on, which is, you know, the wrong perspective. It's supposed to be the, I don't know, is this isometric or asymmetric or whatever they say, whatever it's supposed to be. not going on that diagonal. Oh, here comes the Sphinx thing. Ah. Well, that didn't last me too long. Still trying to be able to read my. Let's go on to something else, shall we? Donald Duck, Donkey Kong. No. Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. are just not that good on the Atari. They could have done a lot better. Well, they have done better. Elf Adventure. Actually, I don't know if I have that Donkey Kong. Is it this one? I have Donkey Kong VCS. This must be one of those weird. Let's see how long this works. There's all those homebrews that try to push the limits of what the system can do. It was just a homebrew that I. Whoa. Play Tunnel Runner. I think I have that one. So far, this version would actually be pretty decent if this was the actual Donkey Kong that came out. It's pretty hard. I don't know if this has all 4 stages, though. Seem to be having a hard time getting to the top. Oh, jeez. I don't know if everybody caught the whole thing about Billy Mitchell and his Donkey Kong high score issue, where he was taken off the scoreboard because they said he was cheating or he used an emulator. And then he just did a Twitch stream where he played Donkey Kong live and got to 1,000,000 points. Only thing is he stopped at that point. He got exactly to 1,000,000 points and then stopped and walked away from the machine. I guess part of his personality. Some people say his arrogance. A little flickering going on there. Oh, we're in the pie stage. Pretty good. The infamous pie stage that's often overlooked. But yeah, I remember watching that, oh jeez. And I just couldn't believe that he just like got to 1,000,000 and just kind of like got up and walked away. Apparently though, he was right near the kill screen. So even if he kept playing, he still wouldn't have gotten a high score that would have matched his actual high score that he claimed. What the hell did I die from? What, you can't touch the barrel thing? Huh. That's new. Donkey Kong has a lot of flicker going on up there. Man, I can't go. There's so many pies. Excuse me. Maybe there... Oh, okay. There we go. huh? It's actually not bad though. I mean, it looks like the elevator stage. It's got the spring barrels. I mean, aside from the flickering, the fact that I just jumped through that thing and I didn't land on it for whatever reason. Am I dead? That sucked. Yeah, lots of flickering. Exactly. Every time they try and make a better game than the actual Donkey Kong, they always end up with flickering. So let's play some Hero. This another game that really pushed the limits of the Atari, and was an amazing game from day one. Oops. I got my first experience on this game on the Commodore 64. Actually, I'm one of the advocates of this game that says that the original Atari 2600 controller is better to use than any gamepad or any other controller on this game, because the tighter the controls, the better you can play this game. Gamepads are just too, you know, too easy to do this kind of thing. And you gotta have really tight controls to make sure this guy doesn't go flying into something you don't want him to hit. Yeah, this is a great game. Yeah, there's no flickering on Hero. This game was done properly. It's well done. And it's got like so many different levels of difficulty. I mean, it starts off simple and it works its way up and it gets harder and harder. One piece of advice I always give when I play this game is if you want to know what pathway to take, it's always the one you, or well, not always, but usually the one that you don't want to take. So there's usually something there, like a bat or something. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Games for Poet. Hero did not interest me at all back in the day, but I was wrong. One of the best games ever. Well, you know, tastes change and appreciation for games change. You know, maybe back in the day you were fixated on a certain type of game or style of game, and so this wouldn't have interested you, but then when you start to learn the limitations of the systems, you start to appreciate things more. I mean, this is the whole whoa. It's the whole reason why E.T. gets a bad rap, right? People didn't understand the limitations of the system, and so it's easy for them to bash something like E.T. Yet, what Howard Scott Warshaw pulled off, it's actually pretty amazing. In the time frame that he did it, oh jeez. Landing on all the bad stuff. Alright, we got Green Lantern. How's it going, Green Lantern? Hope all is well. Glad you can make it. Atran Fanatic says he's never got to play this, sadly. Well, I mean, it kind of came out late. It's an expensive game. Whoa. I just did poorly there. Jeez. This is what I mean. Playing on a gamepad on this game is not easy. Let's try it again. I mean, to get your hands on a copy of this game, you either got to get really lucky or you got to spend the money. At one point I had 2 copies of this game. The first time I actually spent the money, I spent like 45 bucks, I think. And second time I bought a lot, like an Atari 2600 Junior and it came with a ton of games, and this game was included in there. So I got lucky. Nah, it was the box. Looked like a bad budget title. If I ever oh, yeah, I can hear that. Oftentimes we were sold by the box. Actually, that's what made me want to buy Keystone Capers. When before I had my first Atari. I mean, I played Atari before I owned one. Friends had them. But when the Atari Junior came out in the 90s, you know, the whole resurgence of the Atari, I remember seeing the box for Keystone Capers in the store, and that's what kind of wanted me to buy an Atari. I mean, just seeing that game, the box. I never even played the game before, I just thought the box looked cool. I'm like, hey, if the box looks cool. I'm sure a lot of people were fooled by that, though. Some boxes look really cool, you get the game, and then it's crap. But they had to really spend a lot of money on marketing back then, right? To make the game look more appealing than it actually was. Oopsie. Yeah, Rex is right. When you saw Activision on the box, you knew it was good. And now when you see Activision on the box, it's time to get your shotgun. Well, Activision changed, just like everything else. I mean, Atari changed. The Atari of today is not the Atari that was of the yesteryear. It's all new people, new management, new concepts, new ideas, new goals. You think about the original Activision was designed by people who just wanted recognition, and they wanted to make good games. Nostalgic for the 70s and 80s just came in. How's it going? Yeah, that's pretty much how Activision was born. I mean, the programmers had a passion for what they were doing, and they didn't want the big bosses to be like, just get the game out there as cheap as and fast as possible, and we're not going to give you any credit because who cares about the programmers? And obviously that was the wrong approach. So a lot of the great ones... Oh, jeez. This is so hard to do with a freaking gamepad. Possible you would play Mines of Minos after Hero. Mines of Minos? Am I saying that right? Minos or Minos? What? I'll have to see if I had that one. Don't you know what that is? That's Marco Arndt. If I'm saying your name right. Arndt. I'm bad at pronouncing names. I shouldn't even try. The trick to this game is to learn the lift-off speed of this guy. Because he doesn't just go up as soon as you push up. There's a slight delay. Whoa, I almost fell. Okay, I have to look into that mines. Whoa, okay. I shouldn't be reading while I'm playing. Dangerous combination. I have to look into that mines of mine. Is that an actual released Atari game, or is that a homebrew? Or a prototype? Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, you know what? I think I know what you're talking about now. Is that the one that's like, almost like a Dragon Warrior style game? Like an RPG style? Might be why I've never heard of it. Which way do I have to go? That way? Oh, crap. That's what I mean by the one path you don't want to take is usually the path you have to take. Fred. Let's see here. Smurf. Speedstone Keeper. Yeah, let's just play this one right now, because that's the one I was talking about too. This game this is the game that made me want to buy the Atari. 1980 Pain for Fun. How's it going? Pretty good myself. Decided to play some Atari, as you can see. Just some classic games. Randomly. Now you're like in a labyrinth, a bit like Pac-Man, but it's harder and better later. You get to collect it. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of another game then. So I remember I heard of this other game that's kind of like a Dragon Warrior style. I think it was actually for the oh, what was it called? The Supercharger. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. It was a game for the Supercharger, and it was almost like a Zelda style, or not Zelda, but Dragon Warrior, where you had to like build up experience and fight bad guys and move around on a map screen. Way advanced for Atari's day. That sounds interesting. I need to look into that. I mean, I might have it. I haven't actually checked my ROMs here, but... Is it rare? Dragon Stomper is the super... Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was thinking of. Hopefully my stream just straightened out, because it was doing pretty bad in the beginning there when I started. I was getting a lot of in and out. So is that game like pretty rare? That Mines of Minos, or whatever, however it's pronounced. Still prefer playing these games with the original joystick, but when I joined it started, I almost played myself. Yeah, you never know what causes these hiccups when it comes to live streams. Oops. It's like rare, yeah. Command bid did some... Oh, jeez. Mental note. Don't read while playing. It's actually quite challenging to read the chat and play games at the same time. Especially these kind of games. Take your eyes off for a second and you're dead. I also have this game on one of those LCD handheld things, kind of like the Tiger Electronic things. They came out with a line of the Activision classics. I got this one in Pitfall. Actually, not too bad. I mean, this was around the time when we still had, you know, we had Game Boy and we had all these like really fancy schmancy handhelds, but these things came out at one point and I picked them up. They're actually not bad. And I just died again. I mean, for a LCD kind of, you know, cheapy handheld game, they look cool. I have them sitting in my man cave. Cool. Gamester Poet just got perfect score on Dodge 'em. I don't think I was very good at that game. I think I gave up. Just like Jim, or James, goes by both, from Jim's Retro Zone. He likes to go for the high score challenges for the Twin Galaxies records, and he's got quite a few going on already. I just don't I don't know if I have the patience for stuff like that. Whoops. I mean, I play these games for fun. I always have. I've never really been a competitive player. Most of the time I don't even check my score. Just like playing. It's just fun. Oops. And you know, most Atari games, there was never an ending to them, right? So you just kind of keep playing it and playing it and playing it until you die or you're bored. It wasn't until like really in like the Nintendo era where every game you bought always had to be beat. Like, you know, Super Mario Brothers, you have to beat it. But back in the Atari days, I mean, sure, oops, that was sucked. Sure, the Commodore 64 had a bunch of games like Impossible Mission and stuff that you had to beat, but uh-oh. 10 seconds. I don't think I'll make it. He's too far away. There's no way. He always gets that advantage of the stairs. Run! 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 Oh, I did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Look how fast the shopping carts are going now. It's like this shopping mall has a mind of its own. Everything's trying to kill you. Oh, jumped too soon. Oh wow, 600k on Yar's Revenge? That's insane. I can't get very far on Yar's Revenge. Another Howard Scott Warshaw classic game. Also known as like one of the better games on the Atari. Howard Scott Warshaw is a cool guy. I've been talking with him a little bit, trying to get him to do a live chat one day. He seems to be very busy though. He's constantly telling me that he doesn't have the time right now, but to keep trying, so I'll just keep trying. One day maybe I'll get him on my show. That'll be fun. No, I don't have any Activision. Whoops. I don't know why I jumped on that one. I don't have any Activision patches. I mean, back when those patches were being released, that was during the early days when Atari was still, you know, pretty young and on the shelf. And I didn't have an Atari. I grew up with an Intellivision, so I never heard of the Atari or Activision patches at that point. And I don't think I had any Activision Intellivision games either. Most, or if not all, the Intellivision games I had were the Mattel Electronics games. Yeah, Jeremy is a talented gamer. He pays a lot of attention to detail, and he can really focus on a game. He spends a lot of time being able to actually, like, you know, a lot of patience to play a game. More patience than me. I tend to just rush through things and get a little sloppy at my gameplay. This game I played quite a bit, so I kind of got used to it, but... even this game, I can only get so far. Gets to the point where it's just like, that happens. Once you get so high in this game, you can't get hit once or else you're dead. Your timer will run right out. After your eyes start getting bloodshot. You have to learn to utilize the elevator, which I can never master because if you take the elevator at the wrong time, the crook will turn around and run the opposite direction. So it's kind of like not helping. So you just gotta get, you know, the right timing on it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See, it takes like 3 ducks for an airplane, which really cuts back on your time. There we go. You got the 2 balls. You have to run back, or else you'll never beat them. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna make this. Even if I wait for the elevator. I give it a shot, though. Doesn't hurt to try. Oh, come on! There you go. No, he's gonna turn around. Or I'm gonna run out of time. No. Just die as soon as the elevator opens. Oh! One wrong jump and it's over. Yep, it's over. Yeah, homebrews are getting amazing. I love the homebrews. Let's play a homebrew. Let's see, I got... let's see, where... oh! Here's a homebrew. Princess Rescue. I love this. Arcade video game fun. How's it going? Let's play a homebrew. This is Princess Rescue. Yes, it's Mario. Oh yeah, I gotta check out that Mines and Minos or whatever it's called. It's too bad this doesn't work properly on the flashback. On the flashback you can't shoot the fireballs. I don't think you can run either. Because you got the limitation of the one button, right? And so it requires the usage of the controller. Oh. Whoops. Obviously this doesn't run as smooth as the actual Super Mario Bros. Game. It's too bad I can never get my hands on the cartridge of this one. But they had to stop selling it. I've heard it was like a cease and desist order from Nintendo. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. I can see it though. I mean, Nintendo is very aggressive on their maintaining their brand and stuff. So you do anything that infringes on any kind of copyrights, they come after you. No matter how small or big you are. So I can see them actually having this game shut down. So if you want to get this real cartridge of this game, you pretty much have to spend a lot of money on eBay or something. Because I don't think it'll ever be re-released again. Or you can get a Harmony cart, which a lot of people keep recommending to me. Did we lose the stream? Oh, I hope I didn't lose the stream. Ow! Game over. Okay, let's see if I can find that. I'm just gonna check my stream, just see if I'm dead or something. Let me know how the stream is doing. Okay, I'm just gonna wait a minute. I'm just gonna make sure the stream is back up before I try. Let's see if I have that Minds of Minos or Minos or whatever the heck it's pronounced. ROMs. All ROMs. Go down to the M section. Hopefully the stream came back on. Yeah, Green Lantern. Yeah, let's call it T. Yeah, exactly. It's T. Uh-huh. It's a nice T. Am I back on now? Oh, there it is. Now, I've never played this before, so... interesting. Hopefully my stream is working. Actually, let's just double check that before. Yeah, technology giveth, technology taketh away. Damn tech. Alright. Can you see my screen? Am I there? Hello? Ah. I think it's just gonna go in and out. Pain in the ass. Minds of Minos, blah blah blah. What is going on? Okay. Huh. What is he supposed to be? Wait a minute. Let me just, I'm back. Alright, I'm back. Now let me try this again. Damn it. Alright. Okay, let's play this Minds of Minos, or whatever it is. What the hell is he, a cockroach? What is that? And what am I doing? Okay. Well, let's just keep going. Whoa! What are those things? Okay, I just got killed by something. Okay, everything's good. Great. Now if I can only figure out what the heck I'm doing. Aliens invade and try to take our technology away. I'm the first one rising up with the battle cry of video game. Yeah, I don't even know what the heck is going on here. Alright, I'm gonna... It's like a crazy maze game. Oh look, there's a square thing over there. I don't know what that does, but I'm gonna get it. It's making some funny... I just got eaten. What's going on? Why isn't he moving? Is this like a player 2 or something? Okay. I seriously don't know what's going on here. So I guess I'm going to have to look into that one before I can play it again. Because that was confusing. Moon Patrol. Mountain King. I know I've been recommended to play Mountain King. I don't think I have this one. I don't know how to play it either, so maybe I shouldn't even go there right now. Frogger. Official Frogger. Yeah. Love the original Frogger on this one. Pack Kong. What the heck is Pack Kong? Probably some crazy... What is this? Let's find out together. Oh my goodness. Is this a serious release? Maybe it was one of those, like, offshore things. What is that thing coming after me? Oh yeah, it was 1980 Pain for Fun that recommended the Mountain King. I knew I was talking with somebody about that. I don't know anything about the games. What? What a weird game this is. Alrighty then. Okay, that's just too weird. Let's move on. Mega Mania. Mega Mania. Where is it? Mega Mania. It's always these different kinds. I don't know. Yeah. This is one of those games where you can just hold down the fire button and it'll just keep firing. You don't have to, like, keep pushing the button. It's kind of like auto fire. You just gotta hold the button down. The heck am I shooting? Ritz crackers? Those little those toys, the Tinker Toys. Try to not just hold the button down and just... yeah, they're cookies. Must kill cookies. You can tell how a lot of the games back then were inspired by Space Invaders. Space Invaders and Centipede. Uh-oh. Dang it! one of these games that I think it uses the original or the actual joystick and not the paddle controller for some reason. You think this would be a great game for the paddle controller because you don't have to go up or down. You're just going left or right. Oh, that was not cool. So like using a paddle, I'm sure would be a lot better than the actual joystick itself. A couple of games I always question why you can't use the paddle, like even the original Space Invaders would have been great to use the paddle on. It's always a lot more fun to play on your paddle controller than the original. I always remember wanting to get Kaboom just so I could, you know, use the paddle controller. Seems to be missing them a lot. There we go. What would be the weirdest controller on an arcade cabinet? Trackball? I love playing Crystal Castles on the arcade, having that trackball. That was kind of interesting. I mean, Centipede had the trackball as well. I don't think I ever actually played the original Centipede on the arcade. It wasn't a game that I really gravitated towards. Back when I remember actually playing real arcade games. When they were the thing. Dang it! Problem with this is, unlike Centipede, you can't go up and down, so if they get to the bottom section, you're kind of messed. In Centipede, you can move up a little bit. So if they do hit the bottom, you can go up. Yeah, Gamester Poet's like, I only played Millipede. Millipede's better, that's for sure. Let's do a little Millipede. Is this it? Wait a minute. Is that the right one? That's the problem with these ROMs. You never know which is going to be the... Let's just play. Centipede's obviously more popular, but Millipede is a better game. Ouch. Even though they're both very similar. Crud. I love the movie Pixels when they play Centipede for real. And the army guys are like trying to defeat the Centipede, and what's his face, Adam Sandler's like trying to coach them, being like, you know, don't hit the tail, don't hit that. You don't want to break them up. Got all blowed up. I know a lot of people don't like the movie Pixels, but I don't have any problems with it. I love the Pac-Man chase when they're driving through the streets of Toronto. It's extra cool because where in the movie when they're driving around in their what was it, their minis, the streets where Pac-Man was chasing them, I worked literally right on that corner. So pretty much all those streets is where I was, you know, working and stuff and walking around those streets. Even when, well, they were recording the movie, I actually remember when the notifications were posted up on the building that I worked in, saying that there's going to be camera crews and stuff for a movie called Pixels. And I didn't even know what it was. And then when the movie came out, I was like, oh my god, it was that movie. But yeah, I mean, I was literally, like, you could see the building where I worked in practically at the time. I don't work there anymore. I don't work in Toronto anymore, but it was cool that I was able to see a lot of the streets that I was walking around on in that movie, where Pac-Man was. But obviously my favorite scene of the whole movie was Donkey Kong. That was just like the best. When I saw the end scene being Donkey Kong, I was just like, no way. Alright, let's do one more game and then, oops. What can we play? Cubair. There's so many games to play. River Raid. River Raid's good. Robin Hood. I'm just going through a lot of my games that I have here. I have quite a few. Let's play Smurfs. Smurfs is good. Yeah, let's do the Smurfs. I always loved this on the ColecoVision, but, you know, whoops. Getting used to playing it on the Atari. Whoa. Let's try again. Obviously I'm not doing too well here. I think that's what I have to do, the double jump. There we go. The only game where walking up or down a staircase can kill you. Or walking into grass. Or walking into a chair. Yeah, I mean, when I first got my ColecoVision, I actually, whoops. The Smurf game was the one game I wanted for it. What's going on? Man. You know, aside from Donkey Kong, which I had to have, the Smurf game was the other one I wanted. And I would have been perfectly happy if those were the only two games I ended up with. And when I bought my ColecoVision, I ended up buying it off of a guy. This is going way, way back. This is going way before retro gaming was retro gaming. You know, Nintendo was out. Nobody gave a crap about ColecoVision and Atari at the time, except for the die-hard fans like me. So you could pick this stuff up cheap. And I remember going into a video gaming store in Toronto, actually, and I said to the guy behind the counter, I'm like, yeah, I would really hope to get a ColecoVision one day. And you know, you couldn't find them everywhere. And the guy working there, he's like, oh, I have one. It's under my bed. It was the one I grew up with, and it's like, if you want it, I'll sell it to you. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And so he ended up selling it to me for like 20 bucks, I think. For the system and the Smurf game and Donkey Kong. So yeah, I mean, but that was a long time ago. I mean, hey. Today, if you want a ColecoVision and you find it in a store, they're pretty much going to want around 80 bucks or more, depending on the store itself. Depending on if it's in a box. And actually, there's 2 stores near my house right now that I know of that have a ColecoVision in box. And I think both of them are asking around the $80 range. Of course, I'm talking in Canadian money here, so in America it might be different. Americans might be like 60, but you know, $60 to Americans is around $80 to Canadians, so that makes a lot of sense. Whoa. Have I ever played Sword Quest Earthworld? Yeah, I think I've played all the Sword Quest games. They're really bizarre games. From what I understand, you have to have the comic book just to complete them. And the final one, what was it, the Wind? Was it? Wind World or whatever, was never actually released. It was supposed to complete the series. Wow, 35 bucks US. Complete with original foam. In 98, yeah. Yeah, see, 98 was just around that time, just before retro gaming became a thing. Why can't I get up there? Man, I just suck. Found an NES sealed in box. They want $300 for it. Yikes. 300 for a Nintendo? Like sealed in box? Like actually never been opened? Or just everything in the box? Like if it's never been opened and it's like brand new, I can kind of see that. Jeez. You're not supposed to do a double jump here. Another game I always remember playing on the, or seeing on the Coleco was the Cabbage Patch Kids game. Cabbage Patch obviously was a brand created by Coleco. The whole Cabbage Patch Kid lineup, the dolls and all that, created by Coleco. But the game itself, I mean, it was like playing a watered down version of Pitfall. It wasn't as hard as Pitfall. Huh. How do I get around this guy? Ah. Original seal according to the post. Well, I can kind of see that. I mean, if it's an original Nintendo, never been opened, still in the original box. I guess also depending on which Nintendo. Jeez, I can't get past this damn bird. Is it like the action set, the one that came with the gun? And I'm dead. I mean, that's the one I had. The action set that came with the gun, and then it had the Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. That was pretty much what I had. That's still the Nintendo that I have today. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was me playing some Atari 2600. Thanks for joining in on the chat. Had a lot of people in today. We had Green Lantern. Let's just see if I can move up here. And Atran Fanatic. 1980 Pain for Fun. And we had Gamester Poet. I'm going to try and scroll up here, but it goes pretty fast. What else do we have here in the chat? You know, there's a few people that Marco. Arcade and video game fun, nostalgic for the 70s and 80s. Atari 2600 dude. I think that was it. And Rex Warden was in here for a while. I don't know if he's still here or not. Yeah, we had quite a few people in here. ARAC30 and Happy Beard Games. A lot of great people. Carl Jr. was in here for a while. Carl Jr. is 17. He created the D2K or DK Arcade for the Intellivision. Optimus Ponder was here. Game SAR came in the beginning. He had to check out. A lot of cool people in the chat today. Anyways, thanks for stopping by and you know, watching me play some Atari games. It's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of games in there I need to figure out what I'm doing. That Mines of Minnows, whatever. I'm gonna have to make a note of that. Mines of Minnows. There we go. I made a note of it, so I can look into it. I can see what the heck I was doing wrong, or what I wasn't doing, or what I was supposed to be doing. Ah, RC from the NYC just came in now. Dang it! I didn't get the alert from YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's weird. The algorithms are weird. Even Twitter. Twitter, sometimes you follow people, you never get their tweets. YouTube, you watch their videos, you never get their tweet or their video message thing. I think you have to hit that bell thing or whatever, but even then, I don't know how reliable that is. There's like a little bell thing, like nobody even knows about it, unless the YouTuber sits there and says, hit that bell. Most people don't even understand what the hell that bell is there for. I didn't know what it was there for. Apparently that's supposed to give you alerts. Whatever. I don't know. YouTube does its own thing. YouTube is YouTube. Anyways, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for watching the show. I'll be uploading my next video tomorrow. Well, it's almost tomorrow now for me anyways. It's pretty late. And it's going to be a man cave update video. So you'll get to see where I am in my man cave. It's not a whole lot different. There's a little bit of differences to it. And I kind of go over some of the stuff that's in there. And, you know, just kind of give you a little bit of an update as to what is going on in you know, the cave. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, and I'm going to be stopping the stream. Have a good night, everybody.